Okay, so let's talk about how to know the how when it comes to manifesting. Have there been any times where you've been told that the how is not your job, that the how will just drop in magically, and you're like, yes, but how do I know what to do? If you want to know how, to know how, then continue watching this video. As you know, I'm Kai Ashley. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this a thumbs up. And as you're listening, please go ahead and write any ahas or takeaways that you have from this video, because I love to know that you're there. Okay, so it's really important to understand when it comes to manifesting your desires, the how comes naturally. Okay, it's actually very simple. It comes naturally. But when you're trying to figure things out in your head, then it won't come naturally because your mind isn't made for decisions. Okay? So, you know, all those times when you're trying to figure out a problem and it feels really normal, but if you're really honest, it also feels really heavy within. Well, this means that you're actually sabotaging yourself and you're going away from your desires. So anytime that you are trying to think of it and think it through and think of all the negative things and try to avoid them and how am I going to get through this in that energy, it's just not going to work and you are sabotaging yourself. So what can you do instead? Well, it's so simple that you might not believe me. All it takes is to tune into your actual desire so you set your mind like the GPS it is. And then as you're tuned into that, you're actually imagining it going well, you're expecting it to happen, which is a really important part that I'll cover in a little bit. You have to genuinely expect it to happen. Go figure, right? It's no good pretending to be positive and feeling like, you know, part of you feels really good. But when you think about your desire, you secretly, if you're really honest with yourself, you secretly don't expect it to happen. Well, that's never going to work out. Okay, so when you think of your desire, you set your mind like the GPS it is. So think of it like this. If you were going to get in the car and drive from Florida to New York, you are not going to think, oh, I don't have time to set my GPS. I'm just going to start driving off. Are you? You're not. You're going to set your GPS, you're going to hop in the car, set your GPS, and then it's going to instruct you step by step, isn't it? Right? And this is exactly how our mind and manifestation works. You set your mind like the GPS it is, so you hop in the car and you program in your destination. You don't hop in the car and get out a paper map like the old days and try to figure out every single turn, every single highway, every single place that you have to go from here to there. That's how a lot of people are trying to think. You're trying to see every single little turn and you're never actually leaving for the destination. You're never actually leaving on your trip because you're so worried about if in 100 miles you're going to take a right turn or a left turn, when these days we have a GPS. So you're not going to worry about, do I take a left turn or a right turn in 100 miles? You're going to be concerned and curious about which direction do I take now. It really is that simple. So pull your mind back from trying to figure out how and just decide that it gets to be done. Do whatever you need to do, and this is where I come in with my processes, whether it's my videos here on YouTube, my digital programs, or my one-to-one private coaching, to help you get your mindset straight so you're not thinking of 100 miles in the future and you are expecting your desire and you're going off down the road and your GPS tells you when to turn left. Your GPS tells you when to continue up the road. Your GPS even tells you when to proceed to the roundabout and turn around. It tells you when you fucked up. Now, how do you know this? Okay, you ready? It's your emotional guidance system, which you've probably heard Abraham Hicks talk about a lot. Your emotional guidance system is so simple that your mind is probably going to want to run away with you. It's going to want to figure out all the little things and get out that big paper map and start trying to figure out what to do in 50 miles, 100 miles, 150 miles from now, when your job is simply to be tuned into your emotional guidance system. It's so simple, guys. All it means is that when you feel light, expansive, bright, you're heading towards your desires. When you feel heavy, contracted, even sick in the belly, it means you're heading away from your desires. It means that the thought that you're thinking is the wrong thought. So this is why when you're trying to figure it all out in your head, it's actually feeling heavy. But the thing is, you are so used to it feeling heavy. It's just so normal for you. It feels like just who you are. But the truth is, your mood changes all the time. Okay, your beliefs, your mood, your personality, it's constantly changing. And except for the fact that you have this resting vibration that you picked up through childhood, and it just sort of feels like who you are. And I can tell you, for most people, it's quite negative. And for me, it took me years to get my resting vibration up higher. It's a practice that you do where you tune into what is my vibration now, and you just feel yourself. And you'll find that there's sort of a heaviness or a dullness to it. And your job is to find a way, which is again where I come in and my methods and amazing teachers like myself, to help you get out of that heavy vibration into a lighter, more expansive energy. And when you do this, that means you're actually heading towards your desires. So how to know how is by looking at your emotional guidance system, and every single moment, does this feel heavy? Does this feel light? Now, it's not about jumping from heavy to fantastic and light and bright. It's about gradual, 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 gradual. And what this means is if you've been in despair around a topic for a while, where it's just felt really hard and hasn't worked out, then you're going to have to go through anger as you walk up the emotional guidance system, basically up the emotional scale. You're going to have to go through anger, because that actually feels a lot lighter and a lot better than despair. But then you're flapping around in people's faces and you're feeling overwhelmed, perhaps because we're being taught that anger is bad. But anger can actually launch you into your desires. Now, I've done a video on that. I'll put the link in the comments. If I forget, remind me. Put the link in the comments on how to use anger to actually launch you into your desires. So do know that it's not about jumping from just really heavy and negative to really positive. I mean, it can be done, but at the same time, it really is more gradual. So you want to walk your resting vibration up to a more positive space, so that way you are thinking in alignment with a positive energy. Okay, but none of this will do you any good if you don't actually expect what you want to happen. Okay, so you have to change your expectation, raise your certainty. Okay, that is so important. It's like, it's literally having faith, and faith feels delusional. Okay, for so many of us that we've been taught to only believe what we see, faith feels delusional. But you've got to be willing to believe before you see. You've got to be willing to choose something that you can really get behind and do the inner work it takes to convince yourself that it is possible. And then when you start every day getting yourself into that space, doing whatever mindset work is required of you, so that you can say, yes, I expect this to happen, and mean it, that's when you simply follow your desires. You're like, your real desires, not your craving, needing, tired, whiny desires. That's the imposter part of you. They're your programs, your conditioning, your comfort zone. The actual part of you that is in alignment with what you want often feels a bit scary, risky, uncomfortable, because our comfort zone is made up of all the experiences we have already. Your comfort zone is your life. And so that means doing things to create a new life, you're going to have to open the door of your comfort zone and go through. Okay. But the door of your comfort zone is painted all big and scary, like it's this big, scary thing. So you have to be willing to open that door of fear and walk through the door, even as you feel the fear. Now, of course, it helps to do processes like my EFT tapping and mindset exercises so that the fear is less. But you also don't have to let that stop you, because fear is not and should not be your master. Okay, you are above fear. Fear is just a conditioned response. And I can tell you the way to actually know how is to act from trust, is to find those desires that, if I really did trust right now, what would I choose now? Okay, not what would I choose 100 miles from now, but right now. You tune in and it's like, well, who do I know I am? Now, if you're the type of person that you want to be in business because you're passionate about something, then you remind yourself that you're the type of business person who's passionate, so you're showing up in these certain ways. So you might want to do some journaling on that, which is, who do I know I'm meant to be? Or you can start off with your ultimate vision. What is it that I truly desire? Okay, so these are the sort of things that I'll do in my programs with you. What is it that I truly desire? So you be very honest with yourself. Not what do your parents desire for you, not what's cool, but what do you actually, in your heart of hearts, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you desire? So you write that down. Okay, so you might want to pause and write that down. And then you simply ask yourself, well, if I already had this, who would I be? Who would I be if I already had this? Okay, I'm giving you some quality stuff here right now, because when you get clear on who you know in your heart you're meant to be, and you get clear on it and you program it into your mind through EFT tapping and journaling and mindset work, then whenever you're in resistance, you simply remind yourself of who you know you really are. Now, these are qualities that you admire in other people, qualities you admire in yourself. It's all about the life that you desire to live. So once you have this vision, who would you be? What would you be doing with your days? Okay, would you be writing each day? Would you be doing videos each day or once a week? Would you be speaking? Would you be going out and talking to people? Would you be making sure that you're meditating each day, or dancing each day, or running each day, or horse riding every week? Or what is it for you and your own personal life desires? What will it look like? Then once you know who you're meant to be, then you simply show up as that person. And you look for the part of you that desires, for like literally, what do you desire to do now? It's that simple. It's that simple, people. What do you desire to do now? Now, again, I already said it, but repetition is the mother of all skill, okay? Not the tired, not the cranky, not the fearful part of you, not the addictive and the needy part of you, but the true inner desire that if you couldn't fail, if you knew that it would be fun, if you knew that it would be easy, if you knew you could do whatever it is you desired, what would you do now? Now that could be, I would go out to the kitchen and make myself a glass of water. That's simple. Go out to the kitchen, make yourself a glass of water. Tune in again. What do I desire now? And like you're picking flowers, really pretty flowers, like, oh, that's a nice flower. Oh, that's a nice flower. Oh, these are nice flowers. Okay, so you want to pick the nice flowers. What's the next nice flower for you to pick? Okay, you've picked the water flower. Okay, now you go, what do I desire to do now? Who do I know I am? Okay, well, I want to get this content out to people. For instance, if, it's easy to use business as an example, but you could use anything at all. Okay, I want to create an experience for my audience. I want to, be well known around the world, all these sorts of things. So what do I desire to do that's in alignment with that? Now, it may be a business step, it may not be. Okay, it may be that in your ultimate life, when you do have a large following and you are really rocking it in your business, that you would make sure to have a massage every day. Okay, I'm not into massages very much personally, but if that's your thing and you desire it in that moment, then you make sure you do it, because that is who you are. And then you might actually have like pop up that you want to write a blog. But then you might have your old, tired, whiny, complaining self come up going, oh, it might not be very good. It might not be this. It might not be safe. People might not like it. So then again, that's where the inner work comes in, to really find out, well, why does it not feel safe to do this? Why am I actually complaining about this? It's not about just pushing those things to the side. It's about tuning into the negative and actually finding out, how is it trying to protect you? What is it that you think isn't safe? Where is it that you feel like you're not worthy or deserving? See, all these sorts of things, you want to look into those and then simply change your mind about it, so that you again expect what you want will happen. Is this making sense? So it's really as simple as you tune into the ultimate desire. So you set your mind like the GPS, and then you tune into your desire now. Not the cranky, tired, complaining desire, but the actual deep down, if you did trust desire. And then you act from trust. And that might be writing a blog that you then keep complaining about in your head. So you just put that to the side. Or, well, I know I said not to, but sometimes you do put the story to the side. But then there's that deeper time when you need to really talk yourself through it. Okay, so it really depends. Once you're not so caught up in the story, you can just sort of shut that voice up very easily. And you can be like, no, I remember who I am. This is what I would do if I trusted. And so you do it. But if you find like it's really strong, then you would actually talk to it. You might do some journaling on it and say, well, what is it that I'm actually scared of happening here? And then you write it out, and then you sort of talk to it and change your mind about it, and then reframe into the positive. So that was quite a lot of information. But yes, so it really is just 2 steps. It's just tune into your ultimate desire, then tune into your desire now. Because your desires light the way. And everything else is just about getting your monkey mind on board, so it stops trying to make the decisions for you, and you're actually dropped into your body, you're tuned in, you're connected with soul, with God, with the universe, and you're listening to what feels right for you from a healthy space. And it's also about forgiving yourself every single day, which, of course, forgiving yourself means to stop being hurt about the past and stop being attached to the past in a hurt, negative way. So it doesn't matter what you didn't do yesterday. Forget it, okay? Just tune into now. Who do you know you are? What is your desire? Okay, so what do you desire now? And you can write your list at the start of the day, of course, but you tune into your ultimate vision first. Never, 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 okay? I'm talking to you. Never just go ahead and start writing a list of things to do, because you're not tuned into the GPS. It's like you just hopped in your car and started driving without setting your GPS, and that's not going to work for you, okay? And so when it comes to knowing the how, it's about trusting that you are being guided through your desires every step of the way. It's about trusting and acting from faith. And just remember, as Amanda Francis says, faith isn't really faith until it's been tested. So until things start to seem like they're going wrong, and you still have faith, you still believe, you still expect it, that's when it is faith. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful today. Would you please put in your comment for your biggest highlight or takeaway today? If you haven't already, make sure you give this a thumbs up if you haven't already, and please share this video so more people get the message, and because it will make me really happy. Now, if you want any further help from me, please make sure you're following me on Facebook, on Instagram, and just signed up to my email community, where you'll get exclusive messages from me with lovely transformational goodnesses, basically. Okay, gorgeous. Let me know if I can be of service to you. Please come and follow me if you're not already, because I give the most profound and powerful and practical transformational tips there is. Okay, so remember, set your mind like the GPS and then follow your true desires from a healthy place, step by step by step by step, and remember who you are. It's that simple. Okay, let me know if you have any more questions about how to actually put this into practice, and I might just make some content around it. Okay, thank you so much, my darling. You have a wonderful day, and remember, you get to choose your reality.